Is that working? Wasn't even on, apparently. Just talking to me, son. Now it's working. Yeah, it's working now. I believe it's Gat next round. Jay-Z with a shocking 134. K-Mag on his in lap. See what Sir Gat's got in him. Little bit of grass. Andy, how we doing? Nice line from Sir Gat. He's got a clear straight to the timing line. No cars in front. 130s. He'll be looking at getting maybe a 129, I predict. Gat coming through. What's he got? Willie Pitt Ben. 129.5. Provisional pole for Sir Gat there with 9 minutes left in qualifying. A good full second faster than Ben. K-Mag. That is not the track, son. Taking a big shortcut. Is he going to go in the pits? There we go, invalidation. Who's next time? We've got the Mercedes of Polish. And 2 laps. Not great ones. Through the last chicane. Nice line on the accelerator. Do not take too wide. He can spin. What's he got? 133. Moves ahead of Jay-Z. He's also just started his... Looks like it'll be a rerun of his medium lap. What's the 134 by all means, not up to standards by the championship leader. A good 4 to 3.5 seconds off his rival, running in second place on 152 points, Ben Smith. Let's just have a look at Sir Gat, see if Sir Gat manages to improve. He is almost... He's about 2 seconds up on his dial. I believe this will just be... He actually might have low fuel with him only exceeding 173. In the pit comes Gat. Calgon's also retired. Probably a little bit of Mexico in there. Ayon across the line. I'll start. Is that lap on soft? It's just Jay-Z coming around now. He's almost 2.5 seconds. Looking at a 131.5 maybe. A little bit wide on the exit there. And across 131.3. P3 on the mediums from Jay there. Right behind his championship rival. Next round we have Ant, very wide from Ant there. Very looking up to get an invalidation. Looking like this might... It's not his... It is a time lap. And it's not an out lap either. Has Chrissy also coming around to sit his first time. Still got the debutant of Tex Ugo 99 still to set a time. Puts it nicely. Foot on the accelerator. Puts it nicely. Let's say that heavy inside line now. Driver's always going on the outside, so the dirt is. Third place, 130.7. 3/10 behind Ben Smith. Gat almost untouchable there though, at the top by a full second. Probably quite happy just to sit in the pits. Got the Red Bull of K-Mag on an outlap at the minute. Keep looking for drivers out. There is only 11 drivers in this finale. K-Mag wants to get a good exit, get some nice speed up the straight. Off he goes. Just trying to pip his 131.3 that he's put down. Nicely accelerates out of turn 1 into turn 2, carries the speed through turn 3. Not to clip the curb on 4 or 5, as they will send you into the gravel. Bear with me 1 second. Now then. Yeah, not so bad. Yeah, I'm fucking streaming, I'm commentating though. I don't have a new yet, he's not come up and brought it to me. I don't know, whenever I hear from him. I said I would have it, assuming he would have messaged me, and he hasn't. No. Alright, Sam. Yeah, that's another right. Not bad. Leave me alone. And Chris here, please. Come and start. Fresh hot that. Next round will be Ben. Ooh, not the speed of the lights carried through. It's a yellow flag in Chrissy, I believe. Chrissy has binned it. The Red Bull of K-Mag might see. Your eyes clip the inside of the corner there. Straight into the wall. Into that wall just there. Ooh. Unbothered Ben next round. Seeing if you can pit gaps of pole. That's being like in sector 2, Ben. We'll see. He's 5.5 seconds slower. Looking to possibly actually just burn some fuel off. Set a faster time with the lightest car, possibly. Ants out, unless he is retired in the pits. I believe that is very happy start from Jay-Z. Will he retire? Pressures of Ben being almost a second ahead of him with this championship battle in contention. He'll probably have about 20 odd seconds to get out of the pits. K-Mag pips Jay-Z by a good 3/10 to 4th as well. Jay-Z dropping down those 5 lap old mediums as well. I can almost guarantee Jay-Z will be coming out of the pits with about 2 minutes to spare. Got Ben now 3/10 down. He needs another 6/10, good half a second to be in contention with Gat, who's also on an outlap. Good boxing match between these two for pole position around Japan. Ben, purple, sector 2. This is going to be close. It's going to be faster. Early dive to the inside. 1. 2/10 off Ben. So close. Gat doesn't even need to set a time. And it looks like he's pulled off. There it is. A little wiggle. Knowing that he's done what he needed to do. Still holds pole. Jay-Z hasn't come out of the pits. It's very, very interesting. would have assumed that he would have come out of the pits. Believe it is just Texudo still in the pits on the soft. Has not set a lap and will not set a lap. His game is broken, the guy in P11. Let's have a look. Polish 7/10 down, sorry, as he comes across the line. Stays where he is.
That's why.
And I believe we're just going to be following the AI around. There's no actual people setting a lap. Probably with the gap to pull into the pits. And then the lobby will close. And we're just waiting for polish. Come on, there we go. Wonderful stuff. So I would give you a rundown of the grid. I believe it will be Sergat P1, Ben in... Actually, I'm going to shut up because I believe it's Gap, Ant and Jay who all have grid penalties. I could be wrong. They will be sorted out. Let's have a look. K-Mag, Polish, Jay, Polish and Ben all invalidated at least once. Chrissy, Calgon, EP and QHRD all fucked it. So, for the viewers, we are having to stage a fake race and retire from said race so that we can apply the grid penalties for people who fucked it last race. Naughty naughties. And I believe we're just waiting. Yeah, lots of crashes. That's probably realistic from Callum there. Go on, retire Callum. Polish, retire. Polish, you need to retire. There we go. Okay, Ben Smith has left the session. Ben, I will invite you fact, we may have a problem with lobby host.
That's all I do. It's getting like espresso to bed and everything, and then when you have time.
And what do we do? Oh, there we go, 30 seconds. Apologies to the viewers, we are just discussing in the Discord who actually has the ownership now since the lobby leader has left. Does Jay have brains? Some, not a lot. Ben's back in. And we will be right with you. Let's just take a 5-minute break. I believe there is the... I believe... Oh, there is Jay. And in this interval, I'm going to go for a wee. You what, sorry?
Tess keeps wants to know about that.
Hmm.
I said I would leave it because to me, I got caught out and pissed off and was thinking of going on a heartstring. So unfortunately, I don't have a heartstring. That's really cold.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work. I said, but I know that I don't. I'm not very empathetic. So what would you do? Or what, you know, what do you think? I said, because we haven't got
And also,
any idea.
sorry, maybe before I play, I wasn't sure about the friend everyone.
Who has joined the party, sorry?
Sorry?
Oh, you sound really far away, Polish. Are you not racing, no?
Yeah, I'm still racing. No, I'm still racing. I saw that you sent me an invite to the party, so I wasn't sure if I was.
All right, no, well, I can have you a couple of questions quickly if you want. So obviously it's first race in Red Arrows. How do you feel like it went? Obviously you watched last week. You were in the safety of the commentary box. How do you feel like it's going to go for you?
Not driven 21 for a few weeks, so.
Do you feel like you're going to be up there in the contention? I was going to say 4 points, but with only 10, 11 drivers, you're going to get points regardless, should you not DNF. Yeah. Do you have a rough grid place that you're aiming for?
Just to finish, regardless.
Just to finish. Is Japan not a track of your forte?
I have good days and I have bad days. And today, during that qualifying session, it seemed to have been a good day, but the race can go either way, really.
Do you see any battles coming out on track? Do you see any enemies?
Probably Calgon from the Indigo days.
Good old Callum, good old Mexico. I will let you go here, Polish. I've just seen that the lobby's restarted. So best of luck.
See you later.
See you later. Move my vape. What have I done with it? I've fucking taken it through there. Yes, I have. As waiting for balls. So we are going to see the grid for the finale very shortly. Once the drivers manage to pick the setups, and obviously they must start on the tyre compound that they set their qualifying time on. Very close, running into the finale. 2 points separate the championship leader, James, and his championship rival, Ben Smith, on 152 points. 9 races they've raced in. I believe both of them have turned up for every race. And here we have the 5 red lights. And thank you for almost false starting there, K-Mag. And just with the grid penalties, I will just run you through the grid start. Now, Ben has managed to actually pull pole there from Sergat's penalty, moving him down to 4th place. It's the 3-place grid penalty for Sergat. You find K-Mag racing as a reserve tonight, very valiant of himself, coming to our aid in Red Arrows, and he's actually managed to pull 2nd on the podium place. We've also then behind him we have Calgon on the medium compound tyres. Gap behind him will be sniffing that diffuser almost instantaneously off the start line. Polish on the medium compound there, obviously a medium sandwich for Gat running in 5th. Chrissy on the soft compound tyres, expected to be a very fast around Japan here, running in P6. We obviously have the DNFs of Eric Pinto and QHRD, who were unable to get time in. Now this is obviously very interesting for the championship battle. We have Jay now down in 9th place on the soft compound tyres. We'll be hoping for a very good start We'll be hoping possibly that something does happen to Ben further afield. Hoping that the championship hasn't been already determined by the grid and the penalty that he has received from almost a self-report. Very valiant again from Jay-Z. And in 10th, no surprise, essentially a quali ban for the flight attendant, flying down the inside of Canada, as we should all well remember, ladies and gentlemen, getting a 10-place grid penalty, choosing to go on the medium compound tyres. Now, if I show the tyres there, obviously we've got Callum, Balls and Anne all on the medium compound tyres. Now, it is going to be very interesting to ride on board with Calgon on the medium compound. Sergat obviously predicts to get a very good start off the line. Probably will be contending P3 into turn 1. Ben Smith and K-Mag also very close. See how K-Mag gets off the line. Very interesting. As they line up for the season finale, ladies and gentlemen, on the final race of F1 2021. As the drivers pull up into their grid slots now, palms sweaty, knees weak, wings are heavy. Here come the 5 lights. And they're off. Ben, great start. Callum, shaky start. And there's a wing. Yeah, Eric Pinto, something's happening with Jay-Z at the back. There's a nightmare. Ben's off into the absolute blinder. Callum in 3rd. Sergat not much to make the move. Sergat is on the grass there. QHD having to make a move around the inside, looking like he can't make it. Very possible. I'm not sure if there was contact between Calgon and Sergat. Something might have forced Gat offline there. Looks like aside from that, we will just ride on board with Jay. It's Chrissy. Chrissy is riding without the front wing. Has something... It's completely gone. Has something happened there at the back? I wonder if Jay-Z's got an end plate off there. Left end plate. He's going to have to pit. Is Eric Pinto? Eric Pinto seems to have no damage. Maybe to the rear wing. Jay-Z going around the inside of Gat pretty much giving up the position, given he's got no wing. It's just a battle of no damage. The cars seem to be relatively spaced apart now. Very hectic start now. We're going to have to see a couple of drivers. Eric Pinto now fighting back at Chrissy Could doing him on the inside with the no damage. Expected to see at least 1, if not 2 drivers come in this lap, with Eric Pinto tapping the back of Jay-Z there, wanting to get that move solidified before the pit lane. Push up the pack. I say Sergat now looking like he's making a move around the outside of Aeon, goes very wide, holds the position. Is that going to be an illegal overtake possibly? It doesn't seem like he's trying to give the position back, so it looks like he's managed to get that around the inside, and it's Sergat into the pits. We've got Sergat in the pits. Aeon up 2 6 places. We've got Sergat, Jay and Christy all in the pits. Eric Pinto doesn't pit because we've got 3 very fast drivers now into the pits. Going to see what compound tyres they go on. Jay-Z is going to go on to the medium compound tyres. Eric Pinto's got 3-second time penalty for multiple track warnings. Jay-Z mediums, Chrissy wing and possibly mediums. Sergat mediums also. We've got 3 medium runners, only 4 left. Aeon now riding very close to the rear wing of Polish. Polish goes wide and almost follows him into the gravel. Polish is round! And Polish is very lucky. It's just the front wing. Is he going to... There's nothing behind him. And as he tapped the wheel... and he's lost it! And he's knocked his front tyre off into the barrier. Virtual safety car has been deployed now. Are there going to be people that are going to be pitting? That is very unfortunate from the Mercedes there. Polish, if he's watching, I expect to see you in here and you tell me what the fuck happened. Ben now 3 seconds ahead of K-Mag. Is he going to come into the pits? It doesn't look like he is. You witnessed balls being scraped across. And there's a that's a VSC ending, sorry, as we missed it. We've got actually QHRD for speeding, and let's hope that's not Gat. No, 5 seconds from Gat, must be speeding in the pit lane. Drive through for QHRD though. Hoping for that safety car. especially because he hasn't changed his tyres also. Having a look at the position change now, we've got QHRD on up 4 places from 8th position. We've got Anne up 5 from the back of the grid. We've got Callum. Oh, we've got K-Mag off the track, retired. And sorry, as Polish has just joined the play. Sorry, we have seen K-Mag lose it round, I believe it is just the first section of S's. Oh, Polish, how are we doing?
Don't talk beyond belief, by your language.
I mean, I thought you'd held it. There was a bit where obviously you obviously spun it back around. I thought you might have damaged the rear tyre. I'd looked away and you'd gone.
I turned right to come off the gravel and it just went straight into the wall regardless. So.
What a mishap. So you stated all you wanted to do was get a finish. Unfortunately, you weren't able to do that.
No.
So apologies about that.
I know Aeon's not happy with me with the spoon.
And we've got Chrissy out. Sorry, Chrissy's DNF'd as well. Where's he gone? He's just lost it. He's just gone. Has he gone straight on?
He's gone to the hairpin by the looks of it.
It looks like he's gone straight on though. It's a full safety car. QHRD into the pits. That is a tyre change though, as he won't be able to serve his drive through. Now, this is going to be very interesting because Ben... where's the safety car? The safety car all the way back there. So, does J-Pit maybe go put some fresh mediums or even some hard tyres on? He is a good 30-40 seconds behind, kind of third and fourth place. He's not coming to the pits. He's staying out on the mediums. Looking at the tyres, I assume the front runners. QHRD's on the hards already. I assume the likes of Ben Smith and Eric Pinto will all come in and put those medium compound tyres on. Four laps, 3 DNFs, 1 virtual safety car and a full safety car. Welcome to Japan. Well, eventful to say the least. Looking at Ben Smith now coming around to catch the safety car up. He is slowing down. Will he look at pitting? I assume he would do. And yet Ben Smith into the pits. Does Callum follow him on the mediums? No, Callum takes pole. And now does Ant play this smart? Can he overtake Ben in the pits? Ben's looking like he's changing his tyres now. Ant coming through, he's looking like he's going to try and skip the delta. Believe he'll have it in Ben out in the pits. Ant's got it. P2 for Ant, 3 for Ben. EP now will take Ben also. P3 for EP. Look at what happened. Look at the Discord DMs, and that's what you'll see happen to the Haas. I would if I could find my phone. It's fine. I'll look afterwards. QHRD coming and put the medium compound tyres on. I believe he might have thought he could have served his penalty. His drive through obviously can't. Jay-Z overtaking the QHRD into the pits. Jay only finds himself 2 places behind Ben now. It's getting very tight. Very tight indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Callum will have been wishing that he'll have been up at the top of the pack where he is now a couple of weeks ago. If only he managed to finish that race and not bin it on the straight of the first lap. But we move on. Eric Pinto still on the 4-lap old tyres. Obviously pitted the first time round, I believe. Here's the safety car going to come in, I believe. I actually can't remember K-Mag, to be honest. A lot of shit's happened. I don't even know what happened to Chrissy. It just looked like Chrissy had gone straight on. I need to look up my Discord apparently, but I'm not too sure my phone is. K-Mag, are you... If you're listening to the stream, I assume, are you available to pop in? Let us know. I'll send you an invite. I believe this will be the last lap of the safety car. So Gat still not being, I would have thought he might have gone into the pit service penalty. Some very fast drivers still remaining. 7 drivers though. It's for a finale. It's a poor show. Should really be seen more in these vital races. Yeah, do you have K-Mag as a friend, Polish? If Polish, I'm not sure if Polish is still here. He should be. Let me invite K-Mag before the safety car comes back in. We have power to the remote. Here he is. K-Mag, how are we doing, sir?
Better than I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you don't want to be in here until the end of the race, ideally.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You're not the first, so...
Yeah, to be honest with you, I kind of went for an increased downforce, and maybe I should have gone maximum just through sector 1, and I just pushed it way too hard. I sort of felt it was coming from the first lap onwards. I just felt my tyres clinging on for dear life.
Yeah, well, I'll say P2 from the start. You were looking very promising, indeed. I say it's very sad to see you here.
I honestly think that I honestly think the only reason I got that P2 is just because I got one lap out of quali where my tyres actually did cling on.
Bear with me a second. I believe we just had Ben Smith overtaking Eric Pinto under safety car regulations.
Oh,
now,
wow.
Now that is forbidden in all leagues. I don't believe it's stated, but it is pretty much an unwritten rule. We do have them going away now, I don't believe. So Gat's taking Eric Pinto down the inside of the straight into turn 1. He's gone very wide. EP's looking to make the switch back. There's no contact between the both of them. It's great racing. Lovely to see it, Jay-Z.
He's still keeping hot with him.
He is. Eric Pinto and Gas got off! Oh no! Just as we were riding on board with him, Callum's spun it as well! Yellow flags in sector 1. Is it going to be? It's not going to be a safety car, is it? Oh, ladies. I mean, with the lack of attendance, obviously I'm not too sure. I don't think we discussed it with yourself, K-Mag, but the lack of attendance, I did say in some of the staff we might as well just have a 1v1, Ben versus Jay-Z for the championship. It's looking like it could go that way.
Yeah, I mean, Super Calgon did brilliantly well there, just to sort of bring that back round again. I mean, in another scenario, you've got another guy just going straight into the side of him, and you know, I think the cars did brilliantly well to go around him. But you know, great credit to him. He's got it back on track, and he's not an awfully lot behind, to be honest with you. He's not. Well. He's
still actually closing on the Delta on QHRD, so he doesn't seem to have any damage on the car either. Doesn't seem to be any end plate damage on the front of the Alpine. I don't think there is.
Let's not forget QHRD does have a drive-through penalty.
He does. He does. It will be interesting. He's actually into the pits now to serve said penalty. That will push Callum back up to 5th place. Jay-Z looking like he's going to maybe on the inside of Eric Pinto onto the grass a little bit. I'm not sure if there was any contact there. Was it a bit ambitious for Jay-Z there? There is also Anne Right behind Ben, looking to do Jay a favour possibly and hold him up.
Tell you what, it's a great midfield race this between these two, isn't there?
It is. There's action everywhere. I say 8 laps. You know, there's 8 laps. 4 people have crashed out. Not to say that signifies a great race, but there's been lots of shit going on. Too much for one pair of eyes, anyway. But yeah, Eric Pinto still hasn't pitted yet. He's still on those 7-lap-old soft tyres. Still keeping up with Jay-Z as well. Quite impressive.
Yeah, and I'd just be interested to know when Eric Pinto is going to stop. He's the only one out there on softs now. And, you know, you wonder how long they're going to last, because this is a very testing track on tyre degradation.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I just think he must be in within the next lap or two, I would have thought.
I mean, that then makes it pretty much a 3-horse race. I mean, DRS is enabled. If he doesn't chuck it in, he will be right up behind the back of that Ferrari from Jay. Is he going to pit? No, he's going around DRS. So will he go? He won't get it this lap, will he? No, he won't. It's still closed.
Just an interesting point is, if you're Eric Pinto here, do you try and get the rest of these laps out with mediums, or do you go to hards? Personally, I'd go on hards, because I just think towards the end of that medium light you're going to lose too much time.
For me personally, it doesn't really matter on track. I just have a set thing. It can be Monaco, it can be Bahrain, it can be Japan, it can be anything. But 16 laps for me is the standard kind of life, what I expect out of my mediums. I have been known to stretch them 25 laps odd so. But yeah, as we just had a comment in the stream from Helix, drive those softs into the ground and pit for mediums.
Well, to be fair, I've seen you do Monza and finish on 70% softs. So.
Yeah. So it's possible. Obviously, it just depends how the confidence that Eric will have in the car and the grip in the car with those tyres, whether he can feel like he can hold it. Because as we've seen, there's people have crashed out. Minimum points P6. Off the top of my head, I want to say that's 8 points. Is it? Maybe it's 4, 8 points, 6 points.
Yeah,
it's somewhere. I'm not sure it's 6 because 6 for 6 sounds a bit weird. But it's a good handful of points, regardless. Do you know what I mean? Like, from what we've seen so far, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've just noticed here as well that Super Calgon's still at pit as well, and so is Aeon. I'm just thinking now. Ben and Aeon are more or less playing opposite strategies here to each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if you look at the tyres that they've got on, they're both on mediums. Aeon's on 9-lap mediums, and Ben's on 4 laps.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Aeon and you can get those mediums out up into, say, I don't know, let's say another 10 laps maybe, well, which is very feasible. You don't even have to do 10, maybe 7 or 8, and you switch onto the softs. You're then on a much faster tyre than Ben is.
By all means, that is true. Given obviously we've had a couple of laps under the safety car and virtual safety car as well, haven't we? So there was maybe a good 3 or 4 laps where the drivers weren't fully pushing the cars, so the tyre wear isn't going to be as severe as what we're thinking right now. But nonetheless, 9-lap-old softs, even with 3 or 4 laps of safety cars, they're still going to have some decent wear. So like you say, it's interesting how long Eric can stay out, as well as obviously the opposite strategies that P1 and P2 are running.
Absolutely. I have a feeling the way we're looking at these standings now, it could be flipped around a bit at the end.
It could be. I mean, there is the gap between P1 and 2 as it stands is 2 points. There is J in front at 154 and Ben is 152. We just got a quick comment from Helix saying he doesn't know what the tyre degradation is like. It is pretty shite, mate, to be fair. But he did 16 laps on softs at Abu Dhabi, so he definitely thinks Aeon has the possibilities to kind of push those mediums a little bit further and kind of be the faster driver at the end.
I'll just give Helix a little bit of an insight. In my quali, I didn't outlap. I was on softs and didn't outlap on them, and did a hot lap straight after, and I finished the hot lap on about 8%. So
as we're talking about tyre degradation there, I just saw Aeon just go around the I think it's the hairpin in sector 2. As we were talking about tyre degradation, he actually lost the back end a bit and had to kind of, just wrestle it the other way, get it in a headlock, and kind of push it the other way.
Yeah, well, along with Eric and Calgon, he's got the oldest tyres out there. So.
I mean, there's a crossover for mediums, isn't there, where they're not as fresh, they're not as sticky, as grippy. I mean, I would maybe say 4 or 5 laps you're looking at, maybe that's when they start to kick in the real kind of stepping up that level in performance.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
In terms of how the drivers manage to manage the tyres is when the drop off point I assume occurs. Aeon, it depends what sort of race he's looking to run there. Obviously, does he want in to catch Ben? I mean, there's a 2-second gap appeared now. Is he looking to kind of catch Ben and cause possible upset in the championship standings? Because I think as it stands now, with the points being handed out as they are, I believe Ben Smith will be crowned the championship winner, the leader.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting race between Aeon and Ben. There's a 2-second gap there, which obviously, it's not massive, but I still think the strategy could really come into play here, because as I was saying before, they're on complete opposite strategies. It really just depends how much quicker Aeon can be on those softs than Ben can survive on those mediums. I think he'll. I honestly think Ben might have another stop in him, if I'm totally honest. I think Sector 1 could be lethal on both mediums.
Multiple drivers have lost it in Sector 1 today, so it won't be a surprise. Ben is doing a great job of harvesting his ERS though. He is looking about half a battery of ERS. If you look at the drivers behind, Aeon looking less than 10% with that red light flashing. I think obviously his intentions are clear. He's wanting to catch up to the back of Ben. Jay-Z a quarter. Obviously he's looking at. He'll know what's at stake. The championship indeed, and that'll be playing on his mind. He'll be wanting to catch up. So I think this is Ben's to lose. As long as Ben keeps it on track, doesn't spin. See you later, Polish. As long as he keeps it on track, doesn't spin, kind of just keeps his head cool, nothing aggressive, I think he'll be fine. But like you say, the strategies could change that.
Yeah, I think I was just looking there, just back on sort of tyre and time, is that I thought that QHRD, he's got 73% battery now, and he's 33 seconds behind. I'm just thinking if he can start pushing a bit, then because I don't think he'll go in again. He's on 6-lap old mediums. If he can push a bit, maybe he can start bringing it back a little bit. But we've got quite a fast field out there at the minute. Yeah,
I mean Aeon he's managed to get that gap under 2 seconds for the first time I've seen it in a couple of laps. So he is actually closing in on Ben.
Which is impressive on the older tyre as well.
It is indeed. As I say, it's all about tyre management. It depends how the lovely little sweeping shot there of them both going around turn 1. As I say, it's very interesting. I'm glad that you're in this party, because I hate commentating alone solo, and especially when there's only 6 cars and they're all over a second apart. I get bored of my own voice.
I was going to say, it becomes hard to create the drama yourself, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. There's only so much that you can kind of manipulate. Drink is something I always forget.
Seems to be pretty comfortable out in front there. Aeon is starting to push him though.
Yeah, I would love for us as commentary, as spectators, be able to have the ability to kind of flick through their MFD and kind of just tell me what tyre percentages you're on, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be interesting.
Let's have a look at the. Let's just have a look at the telemetry of Aeon. Yep, he's on 0 ERS, so he's been pushing quite hard with that. And let's have a look at Ben.
Ben's 38, so he's using it down this straight now, using it to kind of spread that gap. It's almost like pit strategy. He sees Ant closing up. Right, I'll use a bit of my ERS then.
Yeah, and I think this is where the younger tyres come in.
We actually have Super Calgon overtaken Eric Pinto. Eric Pinto's into the pits on those 13-lap-old softs.
I'm just going to keep an eye on Eric now to see what he goes on. Yeah, he's going to go onto the mediums, which is a sensible choice. 12 laps remaining.
Yeah, quite easy. He'll come out in plenty of time in front of QHRD, I assume, as well.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, just. He's pushing a bit QHRD. No, he's not going to get there.
Maybe into turn 1. He wanted it in turn 1. QHRD. A bit of action here at the back of the pack.
There is, and I tell you what, we've got to remember Eric Pinto's got cold tyres here.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if Eric can kind of withstand the pressure of QHRD. Obviously DRS is enabled. Will he just kind of hold back and just want to get the overtake done on the DRS straight, possibly? As safe as possible?
I think so. I think this is the sort of track where if you're going to make a move, you wouldn't want to make it unless it's on a straight, because, I mean...
You've got enough to worry about keeping your own car in one place, facing straight.
That's it. I mean, the track itself is more than wide enough to make manoeuvres. The problem that you've got is...
We've got Jay in the pits. Jay has come into the pits. The championship leader has a bit in the bullet and dove into the pits first.
On
soft.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. I have a lot. I have a lot of money on Ben reacting to Jay pitting and going in, because the race win isn't essential for him. Aeon doesn't need him. Aeon winning the race doesn't affect Ben. Ben just needs to beat Jay. So if Ben can dive in the pits and put softs on and match Jay for the strategy and comes out ahead of him, there's no reason. Just, you see what I mean? Then there's no chance of him closing him down on the slower, with Ben being on the slower tyre. They'll both have the same. If not, Ben will be a lap fresher.
I mean, this is just going back to the sort of Red Bull Ferrari tactics where, you know, when you're out in front, there's no harm in copying each other.
No. And we've actually, looking at Ben's ERS, he's just on the 10%. So is he in? He's not in, K-Mag. He's stayed out. The Aeon's in. Callum will now look to take P2 after that. Oh, but Callum's in the pits as well.
Callum in the pits as well, yeah. So does this mean, looking at this, that these mediums really are susceptible to the tyre degradation just as well as badly as the softs are?
They are. Now this is interesting. Helix has said Ben surely has to pit. I mean, he has to. There's the 3 people behind him on softs. Aeon is only 3 seconds up the road from Jay-Z. Now I know they all are in a party.
Oh, he's Pinto and Super Calgon.
They are, yeah, sorry. Pinto on the medium size, I won't have as much traction going around here as Callum. Callum also looking a little bit sideways going through there. QHRD obviously backing up at the pack as well. Calgon with the superior ERS though, 73%.
Super superior ERS and superior tyre.
Yeah. Almost looking like he's stretching that gap. Eric Pinter's going to have to use the ERS down here. Bye, Polish. And Eric's burning that ERS. Keep up with him. Is there a DRS down this straight?
Don't believe so.
Is it just the one? Oh, is there?
No, there is one down here. Yeah.
Does he get it? I don't think he does.
No, he doesn't. No, there's a big gap here.
Now Ben's in the pit. Sorry, Ben's out on softs. Ben has reacted.
Yeah.
And he's got a nice 2 second gap on Aeon.
We're back to square one. They're literally mirrored where they came out.
Yeah. Jay-Z will want to be closer to Aeon than he is to sponge that DRS and just kind of bring himself closer to Ben. It's going to be very close.
He's using it every now and again. He's bringing himself closer to Aeon, and he's now letting that battery recharge a little bit.
Looking at that gap, it is closing. And it was a better exit out of that U-bend. Jay will be screaming because he loves all of his corners. The 130R, and I know this is on here, but I don't know which one it is. And there's loads of ones.
He's screaming for his Delta.
Yeah.
Just interestingly enough, Jay seems to have lost quite a bit of time there.
Who? Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, he just seems to. He was within 5 seconds of him. And he's dropped to 6.3.
I mean, Ant just set the fastest lap of the race. So that was almost a good second faster than what Jay-Z was doing. Absolutely flying there from the flight attendant.
There's 2 separate races going on here, isn't there now?
There is, yeah. I mean, also what you got to think of is, if you could do it, I don't know if you can do it, K-Mag, obviously, if you can go on the race directory and just see if any of the leaders have any warnings, track limits, etc. See if could find ourselves, if Ben Smith gets a 3-second time penalty, it gets very tasty very quick.
To be honest, at the top of the pack, Ben Smith lap 7 was the last one for exceeding track limits. Jersey has exceeding track limits on lap 14. Actually, Aeon does have one on lap 15 as well, so just having a look to see if we can work out how many we each had. Actually, Ben's on his final warning.
That could make it very interesting, and as he does just go and set the fastest lap on the fresher softs.
So it is all to play for still with that. It's the fastest lap there from Ben.
Yeah, so there's another point. QHRD's gone into the pits.
Yeah.
Jay running a little bit wide then. I think Ben's pulling a pretty gap away from the pair. Chasing him in P2 and 3 now.
Yeah, just interestingly enough, since Aaron came out on those softs, Ben's had now pulled him an extra 2 seconds ahead of him.
I think Ben's race pace on the softs is just, I think he is just a lot more superior than what of it's a gimme saying that someone's race pace on softs is a lot more superior than softs and mediums, obviously. But I just think in terms of the race tyre, I think obviously you have more confidence in being able to shut the car into corners.
This is one of these tracks. It's a little bit similar to Bahrain in some respects, where if you could race on softs for an entire race, you would.
We just got Ben running a little bit wide into turn 1 there. I think he just clipped the curb, and rather than try and kind of ride the speed through it, he just let it run a little bit wide and just lost himself a good maybe half a second or so. To Aeon.
This is where if he does exceed those track limits one more time, it's suddenly game on.
Yes, he's a second down on the Delta through Sector 1.
But the important thing for Ben is he's pulling away from Jay.
Exactly. Ben's battle's not with Jay. Not with Ant, sorry. It's all with Jay at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Just see Ben begin to enable that DRS, and I think he's just trying to correct that mistake.
Yeah. Tried to eliminate the second deficit that he obviously managed to build up and then lose going into turn 1. Yellow flag, sector 1. QHRD. I was worried. I thought we could have had something fruity going on, but none of the front runners.
Well, if that was a safety car, then tell you what that.
I tell you what, that would brighten things up. What an end to a finale that would be.
Yeah, let me join the session. I'll do something.
just slide Eric Pinto a 20 quid. He'll do it.
Yeah, that's
So he managed to keep it. Jay, 3-second time penalty. That is not what he will have wanted. Is that the championship right there?
Well, it's 11.8 seconds as it stands.
Yeah. He will be kicking himself for that. He did say he didn't like Japan. When the extension was announced with the calendar, he wasn't too happy.
I'm not a big fan of it myself, to be honest with you. I mean, it's one of these tracks, isn't it?
I think it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah, I agree. And from a driving point of view, it's one of these tracks that's brilliant to watch, but terrible to drive.
Oh, can you imagine if we had 20 drivers?
Oh wow!
I mean, four have crashed out, and we've only 10.
I think we'd only be on lap 10 now.
And the third safety car.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was at Canada last week. We had people DNF under the safety car.
Oh well.
I think it was when it went to wet. Just looking at the stops as well, Ben and Jay both have stopped twice. Everyone else bar QHRD just the once. And that goes very wide there.
I mean, Ben's just running a brilliant race out there. I mean, not only has he corrected the time that he lost previously, he's just pulling further away from where he was.
I mean, he's been a stalwart of some sorts, Ben. When he finishes, it is always high. He has just had those couple of races where I believe, actually looking back at the standings, I believe it was what's the word? Consecutive races. I believe it was the sprint in Monza that he DNF'd, and Jay DNF'd in the feature, and I believe it was the week prior, it might have been Bahrain, where they both crashed out of that race as well. Bar them two, they've both finished every race and very high in the points. It has been almost a two-horse race for the majority of the season. Callum was in it for the majority until someone took him out on the starting grid.
Oh.
We won't mention names.
Certainly.
It was me.
So
Complete.
that's how you know about the 20 quid.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an EP. You'll get one as well. But no, I think we're out of safety car danger now. I think even if somebody was to bin it on the straight, I think it would just be yellow flags. Like you say, Ben's running a brilliant race.
Yeah, he's running a brilliant race, and to be honest with you, I think Aeon's a great racer. And, you know, if that deficit's becoming bigger and bigger, it means I think as it stands, I think we've got our new champion.
I believe so. I mean, 2-3 laps and running. Once Ben just gets around this final corner, it will be the last 3 laps. And I can finally uninstall this game and cry at how terrible I am at the new one.
I've already done much crying over that.
I'm not getting on with it. I did say, I was like, I'll sell it and I'll just do comms. That's how close I am just sacking it off.
To be fair, I don't mind it. It's just that what does my head in is like the stuff like the crashing during a race, and I think to myself, like, how many times has this game been regression tested?
Yeah.
And you haven't found out that it crashes for people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yellow flag, sector 1. Is it QHRD again? No, it's Callum.
Yeah.
Those very hot tyres. QHRD coming up behind him now. Left a nice little dirty gravel trail on the track. I just saw that on QHRD, on Eric Pinto's screen.
I mean, credit to Aeon. You know, he's actually moved up 8 places in this race.
Yeah, I believe the AI will give him driver of the day.
Can't fault him for that.
No, yellow flag in sector 1 again. That's QHRD that time.
Yeah.
Still has a front wing and all end plates. Jay in the pits. He'll be going for that fastest lap now that Callum's spun.
I think so, yeah.
Just in case Ben does have a little spin.
Well, he's got nothing to lose now.
No, definitely not. Well, if Callaghan's going to come right up behind him, it's going to be very close coming out of the pit lane. And who's going to have the position? Callum's looking around the outside. Jay fends him off. A little bit of action in the last 2 laps here for P3.
Yeah.
Obviously Jay with a much fresher tyres. Almost already a second ahead of him.
I'm just looking on board now with Vincent, and you know, he's pulled further and further away now, he's having second ahead of Aeon.
It's only 5 a couple of laps ago.
And now do you question Ben? Do you just have an easy in and, you know, be a final lap?
He's not. He'll push. He'll probably seen that Jay's gone for the fastest lap and thought, I'll try it on my 8 lap all softs. Not forgetting as well though that 3-second penalty that Jay has. Callum's still less than 3 seconds behind him, so Jay-Z's also looking like he's going to drop down a place with the penalty.
Just going to watch Jay's now. He has activated his ERS and he has it built, so he's going to go for that fastest lap.
Riding on board with Jay now. See what he can pull out of the bag. It'll be very interesting at the cut-off point in Sector 1 to see if he's got the pace. Very nice and smooth through the S-bends. Nicely done there. A lot of half throttle on the power. Now cut this nicely on the accelerating brake quite late. He's not cut that as fine as what he would have liked, I don't think.
Well, I think it's over to you, because Ben Smith is just entering Sector 3.
Here's Soares watching the chase for the fastest lap as Ben comes through the final chicane. What a season it's been. Ben looking like he's going to cross the line. Don't bin it in a wall. Off the accelerator. And there it is. Ben crowned. Aeon's just got 3 second penalty there in the last corner. Sorry. Ben crowned as the Red Arrows, the first Red Arrows Racing League champion.
Just a note there, Eric Pinto has just gone into 4th place. Super Calvin coming up in Sector 2.
Oh, it's another place for Eric Pinto. He does have a penalty there, but Jay-Z was a good second or two up on the Delta. We will be interested to see if he does get the fastest lap here. He does. P3 in the fastest lap for Jay-Z. Now, will that gap be big enough for Eric Pinto? I believe he will. Calgon's just going very slowly now. And just crawls over the line, the Muppet.
And QHRD, here he is, the 4-stop man.
Bringing up the rear. Still, last place is 6th place. People can laugh all they want, but he still did better than 4 of the drivers in the lobby today.
Hey, you turned up.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you get when you turn up, boys.
You get points.
And points make pints.
Exactly. Here he is. Come on, QHRD, let's have it.
There we have it. Rounding off the grid there for the finale of round 9, I believe it is. Driver of the day, Owen Blades. I have no calls with that. 10th place to P2. Was it P? No, P2 wasn't it? P2. There we go.
Yeah.
I will just run through the standings there very quickly. For those that haven't seen, so Ben Smith P1, that earned him the championship. Was losing in P2 to the P3 driver, finished there with the Ferrari of Jay, who was leading by 2 points. Obviously the deficit that he is, in terms of points, in terms of the deficit between the 2 drivers, obviously it's going to be a lot larger than 2 points, so that will make Ben Smith the championship leader. Well done. We'll look to get Ben in the party, obviously have a couple of words from himself. Jay-Z as well, maybe. We'll look to get him in the party if he hasn't already gone to go. Johnny Soares. Obviously Aeon in P2, Jay P3. A very, very good drive from Eric Pinto. It's nice to see him up the grid in P4 there. Probably one of his better races in Red Arrows that we've had this season. Callum in P5, having a classic Mexico towards the last 5 laps, just non-stop spinning. QHRD as well, P6. That is points for you, sir, nonetheless. Obviously the 4 DNS was Sergat, Chrissy, K-Mag and Polish.
Yeah, what a race. I mean, it was... to be fair, all credit to everyone who turned up, and Ben Smith. I just don't think anyone was catching him today.
No, like I say, he had the pace from the off. Obviously, with the penalties that people had incurred, he did start P1. Ben with fresh air is something very, very, very scary, as we saw, as he is able to pull out gaps whenever and kind of however big he wants. Very good race from Ben. Obviously, Jay would have been hoping that he had somebody to almost in front of him to kind of hold him up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Why can't I
Thank you
find
very much
Jay?
for having me.
No, it's alright. I thought I'd say thank you for staying. You made the last back end of the race obviously a lot more copeable than what it would have been. Just sat by myself talking about cars being half a second and 3.5 seconds away from each other. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. And right, well, I'll catch you in a bit.
No, no worries. Obviously, just whilst you're here quickly, obviously for the viewers as well, obviously don't forget that we will be starting the new season of Red Arrows on F1 2022, obviously, and next Monday using the same schedule that we have been using in recent weeks. So if you have been following us on a weekly basis, we will be back next week at the same time. So obviously thank you, K-Mag, for joining me, and I'll look to get some of the podium people in the party.
Yeah, no problem at all. And just for next race, hopefully I'll come in after lap 3 instead of lap 2.
I probably won't. I'll probably crash out. So hopefully we have commentators for next year, and so I don't have to commentate. But we'll see. So yeah, thank you for joining me, K-Mag, anyway, and we'll see you next season.
Cheers, mate. Try it.
Cheers. All right, bye. And we'll also get the monkey himself, good old SJ. Anthony.
Hello.
How are we?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
I mean, we managed to get it put together. Obviously, join us, if the viewers aren't aware, obviously this is the co-owner of Red Arrows. We managed to get the race together in the end. Obviously, a lot of high stress moments at the end there. But yeah, how do you feel like it went overall?
It was a good race. Yeah, it was just a bit dead, a bit dull. I was just watching Ben disappear into the distance, then claw a bit back on him, watch him go a little bit further, claw a bit back.
There was a lap where me and K-Mag were watching, and I think you got it under 2 seconds, and I was like, this is it, he's pushing, and I think as we followed you, I think that next lap Ben had pulled the gap out by a second and a half, and we were like, yeah, Ben's reacted.
DRS off.
Yeah,
DRS
Ben has reacted. Overall, season, not just the race today, how do you feel like, obviously in the debut season, how do you feel? I don't know why I'm asking you, how do you feel we've done, I suppose?
Yeah, it's been, you know what, it's been a good season for a new league just starting up from the ground up, getting everyone together. You know, it's been a lot of trial and error, but hopefully it'll iron out a lot of kinks going into the new game. So yeah, it's been good.
Brilliant to hear. I know we've got the championship people obviously waiting in the wings. Obviously, you're more than welcome to obviously just stick in the party if you want. But gentlemen, who wants to be first? I suppose. Jay, have you got some tissues?
First things first, congratulations to Ben.
Yeah, we've all said
not
that.
Not the way I wanted the title go, not the way I wanted my championship to end, but yeah, it is what it is. It's one of those things. There is an issue I need to talk about privately, but I'll keep that in the stewards' room.
That's not a problem at all.
Later on.
Did you feel like from qualifying that it was kind of set in stone? Obviously, I hadn't managed to figure out and obviously let the viewers know what the standings would have been. So the first time I saw it was when you were lining up on the grid. Obviously, to see you back there, it was heartbreaking to say the least. To be honest, do you feel like it was done then, or did you still have a bit of confidence that you kind of claw back and have a chance to win?
From qualifying, I had a bit of hope because I had the 5 pace grid penalty. So that was just a case of trying to make the best of it. I wasn't originally going to go out and qualify at all, and then I did just set some dummy laps in just for the sake of just driving around for some practice, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's the issue on the start, which so we need to discuss separately. So I don't want to name and shame in here, but
that's fine. That's not a problem. So we'll keep that between us. Obviously, in terms of the whole season, have you enjoyed it? Obviously, will you be back with us next year?
It's been a really good season. And so yeah, I'll be back next season for whatever role you need me in.
I was going to say, opposing to what role? Obviously, not many people know what discussions have gone on behind the scenes. Obviously, just to let everyone know, there was a deal that if you did win the championship, that you were going to do a bit of a Nico Rosberg, weren't you, and hop in the commentary box.
That's the plan. And now I think we've got to be. I've got to fight for the title again. I think I've now got to.
A bit of a chip on your shoulder, possibly, and take it back off Ben, maybe.
For the season, that's right.
Yeah, I said we were in the stream. We were saying that in terms of you both, it could only have been you two that this was between. I was noticing when I did the standings the other week that obviously you finished the most races, both of you, and I think it was Monza. You both crashed in the alternate sprint and race, and I think it was maybe the week before or after you both DNF'd. Apart from that, you've matched each other's results wonderfully, and it's been well. I don't know why I'm talking like I've watched you every race, but it's been a joy to see you both kind of fight it out week in, week out. And it's not been a case of one of you have turned up for 6 races and the other one's been there for the rest of them, and that's why it's won. So it's been nice to see that it's on a good race to finish ratio, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's been a really good season. It's been enjoyable right from the start. Yeah, it's been really good to be competitive. I'm obviously going to live to rue that DNF in Monza. I think that's the most painful one. Because until that, I think it's me and yourself and Paul having a really good fight.
We were in the front.
I was enjoying that until I made the mistake and I binned it.
Yeah.
But that was a great race up to that point.
Brilliant. I say I will obviously just try and move this on a little bit. Obviously we've got Ben waiting in the wings. I do want to kind of speak to him last. We'll get Callum quickly, as I know he's also in here. Callum, you were looking like you were on for P3, my friend. What happened?
Slippery curbs, mate.
There were plenty of them.
Curbs. Yeah, to be fair, Jay weren't going to pit until I span, and then he saw he wanted the fastest lap.
Yeah, we saw that. We did see it on the stream. Thought that obviously with the gap extending, there was a pit stop in there. Thought he might have fluffed it though. Obviously, they were very close coming out of the pits. Did you ever think about? We all know you. I do. Did you ever think about taking a cheeky lunge up the inside?
Oh, I definitely could have done it, but yeah, I probably would have taken him out, to be honest.
Were you kind of situational awareness, kind of like, this isn't my race to ruin?
Yeah, just go. It would have been funny though if I was still in the running for the championship, and it's just. Taking him out. If I just took him out.
We don't condone that sort of racing here in Lado, so you would have been penalised sufficiently. Black mark against your name for next season.
I was I just said, so you can go.
But yeah, how do you feel the season's gone for yourself? Obviously, it was quite close, obviously, for yourself up to a couple of weeks ago. Sorry.
Yeah. To be fair, at the start it was only because I weren't crashing out and the other two were. I was just finishing races and getting half decent points. That's the only reason I was in it.
Let's keep it PG now. We're all here as friends. I don't want no hats getting thrown across the commentary box, right?
That's alright.
That's good. I'd say thanks for thanks for popping in, Callum. I say you're more than welcome to stay. I was just gonna have a quick chat with Ben. Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you.
Red Arrows champion. How do you feel?
Admittedly, a bit sceptical. There's just one thing in the race that I can see a lot of eyebrows being raised about. It was under the safety car. I don't know if you picked it up.
I did, yeah. There was,
I just want to apologise to James for start. Obviously, I didn't want to win it that way. Multiple occasions under that safety car, I was behind Eric, and we kept dropping back, way too far behind yourself and I was beginning to wonder if Eric was lagging, or there was delay that I wasn't getting straight away. And it was on multiple occasions that I thought, when you lot restart the race, I'm going to be miles behind, and I was getting the host is letting you pass Eric. I think I got it 6 times. And
right, okay.
Very briefly, as I overtook him, his car lagged, and I didn't want to jolt and go for it, but I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to crash, but I didn't want to openly, admittedly, go for the overtake under the safety car, but for the sake of, well, no contact being made, having to pit or whatever, I just didn't know what was going to happen.
Right. Okay.
But other than that, it was quite a comfortable race. It was about lap 19, lap 20. The gap between me and Ant was about 3 seconds. It was like not long after we pitted for softs, and I nearly binned it on turn 2, exit of turn 1 to turn 2.
Oh.
And my heart dropped, and I thankfully managed to keep it on track. But I thought this could be where the race ends, and
This is where it's decided.
Yeah, the gap dropped by a second and a bit, I think. But
Yeah, I think we caught that, to be fair. I think I'd noticed a little bit where you'd lost it. Helix even said in the stream that Ben's got to react, especially.
yeah,
We weren't too sure if he'd seen Jay pit, but then obviously when Callum and Ant pitted, we thought he might be happy with Jay coming up behind him on softs, but not all three of them.
I can't remember what the gap was to James before he pitted. Was it about 8, 6?
He did manage to close the gap on you a little bit in terms of when he pitted.
But I thought if I left it another lap, I'd be coming out probably side by side with James. Ant would probably come out, probably have undercut me. I'd probably come out side by side with James. But I had to do it. I was on fresher mediums as well. Obviously pitting under the safety car, but I couldn't risk it. But other than that, it was quite comfortable, I'd say. Whatever happened on lap 1, I don't know. But I got I think a second and a bit gap quite early on. So.
Yeah, there was a bit of action and incidents on lap 1. But yeah, it happens in races, I suppose, especially Austria.
Yeah, I saw James pit, and I thought that if I didn't like seeing him pit. I wanted like a close competition kind of thing. He did well to get it back to.
It was still competitive. Watching the stream, we never discounted Jay at all until maybe the last couple of laps, when obviously then when you pitted for softs and were kind of extending that gap, I thought that was when it was kind of it was done, and it was. I said to Kate, we had Kate back in the box. It was yours to lose as long as Ben can keep it on track and not spin. And he'll be fine. And from there on, obviously, then you were solid. I say you were pretty much almost perfect on track in terms of, obviously, we were looking at track limits and stuff like that as well. And
I had 2 warnings, and that they were all before lap 10, I think.
Yeah. Yes,
we relying on 17 laps, not getting them.
We saw that. And then obviously we saw Jay. Obviously, I came out looking through the warnings, and obviously when Jay got the 3-second penalty, I think that was when we kind of discredited it, minus obviously a spin from yourself.
Some of the time Ant was getting on me was me taking some of the corners slowly, making sure I wasn't diving off.
Yeah, not taking them too aggressive and spinning
out and still getting a penalty.
Yeah,
you can still spin out and get warning, so I was taking it slow and steady. But other than that, like, credit where credit's due to James. It's like from me winning at Bahrain, and I went on an awful run. I thought my championship fight was out the window. To bring it back to where it is, we've raced near enough the same amount of races. We've kept it as a grid. The amount of people have been racing, kept it clean predominantly most of the time. Back on and off the track, it's credit where credit's due.
No, I'll say
everyone as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's been a great season. There's not been that many incident reports. Every week there's leagues obviously where you have tons of reports week in, week out. It's been a joy not to have to kind of deal with that, because people are very respectful of each other on track. Whether they're obviously fighting for a championship or just fighting to get some points at the end of the day. But in terms of obviously overall, have you enjoyed the full season? Have you enjoyed obviously fighting for the championship?
Yeah, from seeming like going on. Sorry, I can't speak. From going like 0 to hero quite quickly. I think it was like not literally, but I after Bahrain, it just seemed to go all.
Yeah.
The Brazil race, where I binned it right in front of you. Monza, I can't remember how I binned it, but it was like those 2 races. There was Singapore. I was on track for some good points, and I think I come away with. not that
Singapore might have been when I binned it under the tunnel 2 laps from the end and almost killed about 4 people's races. Yeah, that was cool.
Including me.
Yeah. That was mad.
Over the course of the season, I felt like I've improved alongside Indigo as well. Combining that season alongside this, I feel like I've improved racing alongside different people.
Yep.
It has been fun.
That's what we're here for at the end of the day. And occasionally you get to meet some stellar people across the way. But yeah, I mean, unless anybody has any kind of final words for ourselves, anybody in the party? We're all good.
Well, I was going to weigh in there on the Singapore. You mentioned Singapore.
Yeah.
And you've been under the bridge.
Yeah.
I thought I had a fun fact. Do you know why I avoided you?
Oh no.
I had the comms open. I had the stream of the comms open, so I heard Thompson shout, "You've binned it under the bridge." So I heard him say that, and I managed to avoid you because I heard him.
Well,
so because I was listening to the comms, I owe Thompson one.
Well, you need to send him a slide 20 quid then. So Thompson, if you're watching that, Jay owes you 20 quid, pal. But yeah, aside
That's
from
the
that,
reason why I managed to dodge you.
yeah. Well, cheeky little tactic. But yeah, anything else from the co-owner at all before we start the new season?
Don't think so, no. Just thank you everyone for stepping up and actually helping out with comms. I know we haven't had a steady 2-person pairing every week. It's kind of always been someone else. So thank you for, just taking that bit of responsibility and stepping up and making sure we have had comms every week. Also going forward, apparently Harry is going to be hopefully every week for the new game for the next season, so that should be good. It'd be nice to have him back in the box.
Indeed.
Have yourself back on track, so that would be all good.
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
Through negotiations, he was persuaded. Yes, so he's got the game. But yeah, so thank you everyone, and thank you for obviously sticking with us throughout this extended kind of commentary thing. Obviously, with it being the finale. But obviously, just don't forget, guys, we will be back here the same time next week. It might not be myself. It might be myself. We can't say just yet. Keep you guys guessing. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Next week, Monday, 8 o'clock. Thank you, guys.